Hello, this is Johnny Cycles with Cycles Gaming. I'm here running out a janky build I've been working on called John to Hate. The goal is to play a bunch of sideboard cards in the main deck and seeing if we can't jank out our opponent. Why do I think this is going to work? Well, we'll see if it does or not, but the real reason I wanted to try this out is because so many of the sideboard cards these days are super powerful in and of themselves. Endurance, for instance, hits graveyards, but it's also on a 3/4 body with flash and reach. Chalice of the Void in a really good spot right now if I can stick it here on turn 1 or on turn 2. Chalice on 1 really shuts down what a lot of decks are going to be trying to do. We play main deck Leyline of Sanctity, primarily to, let's see, we probably want to get double green here. Let's see what happens when we play a Chalice on 1, see how bad it wrecks our opponent. Setting us up for a turn 3 Fable the Mirror Breaker. I'm assuming this is some sort of Rakdos deck, which, if it is, this should shut down quite a bit of their game plan. They'll still have the Grief Scam. That's why we play the Leyline of Sanctities. And the idea is we play a bunch of really good sideboard cards against the meta, but with main deck ways of discarding them. So if they're dead cards, like let's say Chalice just isn't that good, or Leyline of Sanctity isn't that good, we have something to discard with our Fable. Oh, they're playing the Tarmogoyf too. How exciting. It's the Battle of the Tarmogoyfs. Okay, what is this? It's a 1/2. I could go ahead and kill it. Make it a 2/3 now before it gets too far out of hand. I could also run out Fable and just start digging for my own threats, assuming that my their 1-mana spells are all shut off. I already have double green. Not sure we need double red, other than for multiple things in a turn. So we'll go get a swamp. Maybe they're playing. Oh, they're playing John too. It's a John matchup. Holy cow! How exciting! Hopefully this won't come back to haunt us, but we could have tried to hold up the endurance, flash it in to snag a block and kill that Tarmogoyf when they're not expecting it. But I think we want to just, if you have Fable of the Mirror Breaker on turn 3, you should always play it. It's one of the best cards in Modern. It dominated Standard, and it's pretty good in Modern too, especially in what I assume is going to be a grindy matchup. If you can hear my kids downstairs, they're with our babysitter. Thankfully, we have a really good babysitter, and they are very loud, even with the door shut. Tarmogoyf coming in as a 1/2. Do we block and let them grow it? And we'll lose our, I think we can take 1. It's okay. Now, what are we going to pitch to our Fable? We have a couple of cards to discard here. Questing Beast is one of our best cards. We will definitely discard. I think we're going to pitch an Endurance and Bowmasters. Sneaky. So they're going to try to kill our Shaman, which is fine. I mean, it's not ideal, obviously, but they're going to ping us, yeah, and then we're going to draw 2. We're going to say yes, and I think we're going to pitch. I guess we could have responded with this Cathartic Pyre to kill the Bowmasters and save our Orcish Shaman. I'm not really sure that's the ideal play, though, when we want to get this Questing Beast out. And we're hoping to hit a land right here. Okay, got the land. See what they decide to ping. Face or Shaman? Yeah, definitely the Shaman. Everyone wants to kill that thing. People are so afraid of the treasure tokens for some reason. Tarmogoyf is up to a 3/4. We'll shock. Drew a dead card in Thoughtseize. Play the Questing Beast. We're not winning the race right now. Not yet, at least. They can block with this Orcish Army token, which if I was them, I would. So next turn, if we hit another land, what we can do is hold up both Endurance and the Cathartic Pyre. Kill something with the Cathartic Pyre, then shuffle either my graveyard or their graveyard back in and shrink the Tarmogoyf into oblivion, basically. But we'll see what they do. Tarmogoyf's a 3/4. I mean, they probably have a second Bowmaster, so if we block with the Questing Beast, then they can pick off our Questing Beast. So we're not going to do that. We'll just take the 3. Hopefully hit a land here. That's another Tarmogoyf. Good for them. All right, we really want to hit a land for these endurances. Even if we don't hit a land, though, I think we're going to be okay. We got a Bowmasters of our own. We could discard and draw, but then we're going to get pinged by the Bowmaster. If we attack with the Questing Beast, even if we shuffle all of our graveyard back in, their Tarmogoyf will still have 1 power and be able to block profitably with our Questing Beast and kill it. So what we can do, we could attack. I really want to be able to run out this Endurance because we're dead to the swing back, basically. They'll go to 8. If we kill this, they'll go to 8. They may just take it and go to 8 and then have everybody to attack to kill us. At which point we'd flash in the Endurance, nuke our graveyard. They'd be 1/2s, block 1, block another, take 4. If we attack, I mean, they could double block here. I could kill both, but then I'm out of threats, at least that they know of. Questing Beast is such a powerful threat. And I guess I could, at desperation, just Cathartic Pyre or something. All right, so we'll go ahead and attack, keep the pressure on. And if they want to double block, we can kill both their creatures. And then we'll be able to flash in the Endurance, pick off one of their Ooh, they just take it. That's the ideal scenario. So then what we'll do is have Endurance to flash in, nuke our graveyard, block, take 4, and then be able to copy the Endurance and swing back for the kill. That's the plan. I can't imagine, I mean, they must have a handful of Lightning Bolts and Thoughtseizes. Okay, they either forgot about it or they just want to grow their Tarmogoyf. That must be their plan. So artifact, land, creature. 4/5, pretty good. So we'll flash in the Endurance, shuffle our graveyard back in, since it has the most stuff. So these are now 2 3s. And they may cast an instant or sorcery just to fill their yard, which is okay because, yeah, we'll lose endurance, but we'll keep our questing beast. Yep, man, Unholy Heat, my most hated card. So they bounce off of each other. Double Bowmaster. Okay, 4/5. So what we can do here, man, another land would have been nice. But so what we can do here is make a copy of the endurance. They already have an instant in there, so it won't matter if we cast our Cathartic Pyre. They're gonna have it. They'll have a 4/5. We'll kill their Orcish army, make a copy of the endurance, and swing, put them to 1, and then have the questing beast for blocks. And we even get to shovel their graveyard back in. Brutal. Brutal for them. Now they go back to having a very small Tarmogoyf. And they scoop it up. All right, John 8 getting the job done with that turn 2 Chalice. Not sure it's going to work on the after sideboarding. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, so they must have a handful of 1-drops, right? So they're going to play Lightning Bolt. We saw Unholy Heat, Relic of Progenitus main deck. They must be playing Fatal Pushes, Thought Seizes. You got to wonder, will we be able to sneak in a Chalice again, or will they just sideboard into Hand Disruption? Will we be able to find a Leyline and a Chalice so that we can avoid Hand Disruption? Will they bring an Artifact Hate? Do we want to just take out some of this hate that we have that they now know about for removal? Obviously, Fatal Push is going to be pretty good against them. Bone Crusher Giant is going to be pretty good. Terminate, also good. Endurance shrinks down their Tarmogoyfs. We saw how powerful that was to that game. Brotherhood's End as a sweeper to deal with some of their low, like Ragavan plus Bowmasters might not be at its best here. Maybe we want more spot removal. I mean, typically in John matchups, you take out your Hand Disruption and just you want every single draw that you can have to be as impactful as possible. So, man, are we going to take out the Chalices? That's the real question. How good is Chalice on the draw? I'm not sure how good it is, but I do think we can bring in the Bone Crushers Giants as some more spot removal plus another threat. Endurance, I'm not sure how good that's going to be. The Sweeper, should we take out the Sweeper for something, for Fatal Pushes? They're probably going to bring in some sort of Artifact Hate. Dorothy Voidwalker isn't nearly as good without Thoughtseize, but it does help shut down their graveyard once it's on the battlefield. Anything that dies at least gets exiled. The Sweepers, that's really what I'm trying to debate over. Do we keep these in or not? If we took them out, we could bring in Terminates or Scavenging Oozes. Even Engineer Explosives could be good. Okay, I'm gonna keep him in. I'm on the fence. I can't decide, but we're running out of time. Okay, here we are, game 2. Managed to get game 1 with a janking him out with a turn 2 chalice. Here we have 0 lands. Woo! Look at that hand. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Oh, they have a companion that I didn't notice. Jingatha. They're going to start with 7. We are definitely mulliganing. There's our turn 1. There's our 0 play ley line, which could be really good. We don't have the chalice, which is not a big deal. We have 2 removal spells plus our own Tarmogoyf, so we're going to keep that. Now, do we want to get rid of the Dauthi Voidwalker, the Tarmogoyf, or the Bone Crusher? I think, given that we don't have any hand disruption, we're definitely going to get rid of the Voidwalker. Lean heavily on this Tarmogoyf and Bone Crusher Giant. Hopefully this nerfs a lot of their hand. They kept a handful of hand disruption just to get around their chalice. Okay, so we have a Bowmasters. That could be good because what a lot of times happens with these Bowmasters is you want to be the second person to cast a Bowmasters. Which looks like this is what's about to happen, right? They shock themselves. The Jund matchup. Who would have thought a Jund mirror would be happening in 2024 Modern? So what happens with the Bowmaster Wars is they're going to flash in their Bowmaster, ping us, then we get a flash in after that, our Bowmaster, kill their Bowmaster. Ooh, Seek the Beast. Yeah, that's a new one. That's pretty good. That's like a mini, a 2-mana Fable almost. So do we want to do, we'll probably save our Bowmasters until the end of their turn. No sense in running it out now. What did they exile? Ragavan. So I think we'll see what they do. I mean, if they run out of Bowmasters, but otherwise we're going to probably save our Bowmasters and just cast Stomp on this Ragavan at the end of the turn. See what this Tarmogoyf is. It is a 1/2. That complicates things. So what's going to happen, I mean, Tarmogoyf's an old card, but what happens is once we cast an instant, the Tarmogoyf sees it and becomes a 2/3. So if we're going to Stomp, I guess that goes into exile. So we could Stomp the Ragavan and then save the Cathartic Pyre in case we want to use it to dig for cards. But I think what we're going to do is kill that. And then they can play this, grow it. All right, so what we're going to do is wait for their attacks with Ragavan so that it prevents them from dashing. Flash in the Bowmasters, ping it, and then have Stomp Tarmogoyf mana for the next turn. There's a good chance that they're holding on to their own Bowmasters and that they're just going to cast theirs in response. Can get rid of the Goyf, or sorry, got rid of the Ragavan. Yep, All right, they're down to 5 cards. We're down to 3. They're winning the card advantage war here with that questing druid, which is kind of an expensive card, like 8 tickets or something. So I have not looked into playing that yet, but that could be a good addition to this Jund hate deck that I like to call. All right, Fatal Push on the Orcish Bowmasters. Fine. So the blowout here is that we cast Stomp to kill their questing druid, and they respond with a lightning bolt or something. So we have land, creature, instant. So we have a 3/4. We could attack with the Orcish army, and then if they could block, even if they grow it, it will die to the Stomp. This might not be the right play, but we'll see what they do. Okay. So we'll Stomp in response. This will keep our Orcish army alive. If they want to cast a lightning bolt, I guess they could lightning bolt. I messed up, because then they can just kill the Orcish army in response. So that unholy heat, yeah, that's what they're. So I should have let the damage go through. That was a mistake. I thought that was a big brain move right there, thinking I was gonna to outsmart them and keep my Orcish army alive, when I didn't really care and wanted the Orcish army. I didn't care about the Orcish army living or dying. Declare blockers. Okay. Big brain move right there. Should have gone with my original plan, which was to let them block and then do it. Unfortunately, overthought it. So that was a mistake. We'll see if it costs me. We have a 3/4 Tarmogoyf, which is not the greatest Tarmogoyf in the world, but maybe our opponent will help us out on that front. Got to hydrate a little bit. All right, so I assume they're going to swing in, and if we block, they'll be able to finish off our Tarmogoyf. So we will not be blocking. Next turn, we will cast the Bone Crusher Giant unless we draw into something a little bit better. Ooh, another one. That card's really good, especially in this kind of Jund grindy matchup. It's essentially a 2-mana Fable of the Mirror Breaker with not quite as much upside, but with enough upside to make it just the 2 mana that makes it super powerful. Instant speed. What did they find? Bowmasters. Ooh, Molten Collapse to get rid of the Goyf. Yeah, we could put that in this deck. We have Terminate right now. It's probably Molten Collapse would be a little bit better. Give it a little bit more flexibility. Yeah, I mean, we're going to probably live to regret that misplay, I think. All right, well, we got the endurance for our opponent's Tarmogoyfs. I think we're just going to run out Bone Crusher and start trying to race. I mean, that's a lot of damage coming through, though. They're winning the race. We're on a 4-turn clock. They're on a 3-turn clock, and they're starting. But I mean, in their 4 cards, I'm sure with the Bowmasters. Oh man, yeah, it's not looking good for us. Even had we made the play right, we would be in a much better position, life total wise and blocking wise. This wouldn't be here, for instance. Terminates. Man, they brought in a lot of removal too, because their hand is not full of hand disruption. What can we draw? We'd like our own Terminate at this point. Can't remember if I brought him in. I think I left him out. So yeah, I left in I think we get a forest here. We needed the second green. I haven't seen we'll get the forest, because if they for some reason bring in Blood Moon, it would hurt us. The One Ring, endurance number 2. Well, that's not our best draw. There is some logic behind casting it before they untap so that they can't respond with an Unholy Heat and kill it. Shadow Spear. Well, pretty sure that does it, folks. I mean, we'll finish the game, but man, that's some interesting sideboard tech right there. I'm assuming it's a sideboard and not that they run for Urza Saga and we just haven't seen it yet. Yeah. The good thing is we can kill that questing druid if they don't have a response, which I'm sure they have a response. Okay, we would like a kill spell. We're actually dead to the Bowmasters anyway, so I'm not sure there's any coming back from this. Oh, well, we can't be targeted by the Bowmasters, so that's something. I wonder if they know that. And another Goyf. What's our best draw here? The One Ring? No. Fable? That's not bad. It's a 3/4 already. We could... Man, we could have used a land that turn. All right, they're down to 1 card, so in theory, we run out another endurance. Block here, block there. Next turn, play the Fable. They're going to gain a lot of life. The Bowmasters can't kill us, but it puts bodies on the battlefield that can attack. Yep. Second verse, same as the first. And for us, it's the same as well. These endurances are really doing a good job of shrinking their Tarmogoyfs. However, at this point, I mean, if they just attached it to this, we'd be dead. I mean, the trample here, I mean, we'd already be dead. And another Goyf. Man, they're really good at drawing Tarmogoyfs. What can we draw here? The One Ring doesn't get us out of it. The Blood Crypt doesn't get us out of it. I mean, they're going to equip. I mean, they haven't yet, but if they did, we would just die to that. So let's scoop it up and save our time for game number 3. All right, so what we saw there is removal is the way to go in this matchup. Brotherhood's End definitely out. I don't know about these Leyline of Sanctities. They may have taken out, if they're seasoned Jund players, they may have taken out their hand disruption too. Ooze can really get big and help shrink Goyfs, gain us a little bit of life. The Void Walkers have not made an appearance. Maybe we go down a couple of those and bring in the Oozes to help with the life loss. We could go Fatal Push over Void Walker and just hope and then assume. All right, well, we're already at. So that way, I mean, we'll bring in a little bit more. Maybe we go down 1 ley line. I mean, we don't want to count our own Fatal Push with Chalice, but it is a good answer to, I mean, everything in their deck, basically. Let's go down to ley line. They may have taken out their hand disruption. And now that they're on the draw, they may have figured it's the best play. All right, well, let's run it back. Hope for an good opening 7. Ley line, chalice, 2 lands, and a Tarmogoyf, something like that. Fable with enough lands. All right, there's our turn 2 chalice. Turn 3 Tarmogoyf with a backup with a kill spell. 2 questing beasts aren't ideal. 2 lands aren't ideal, but we're going to try it. See if we dodge hand disruption or not. See if we dodge a turn 1 Ragavan. No, they're mulliganing a 6. I wonder what they're going for. I thought these would make our keep a lot worse at this point. And we don't have our ley lines, which that may be more reason for them to take out their hand disruption after seeing the ley lines. I'm imagining a turn 1 Ragavan is what I would guess is about to happen to us. I think Molten Collapse can just, if I remember correctly, hits an artifact as well. So they brought in some answers for our chalice. I guess if they're taking out our chalice, though. Yep, turn 1 Ragavan, just right on time. Non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less. So yeah, I can hit the chalice. See what we draw here. I mean, we're definitely going to run out the chalice. Okay, land's good. That means we're going to take a Ragavan hit. So in the worst case scenario, we run out the chalice. They play Molten Collapse, and then swing in with the Ragavan, pick off something of ours. So right now we're letting them get in 1 Ragavan hit, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. Let's hope they don't hit anything good. Right now anything is good. We won't land, we won't spells. Hopefully they don't hit Fable and Mirror Breaker. That would be the worst thing for us. Bloodstainmire, all right, well, maybe they'll miss a land drop and we'll get lucky. Nope. All right, they're going to shock down to 15, maybe follow up with Tarmogoyf or Bowmasters. Molten Collapse, yep, there goes our chalice. So that was what I said, other than them hitting the Fable, that was our worst case scenario. Ooh, Shadow Spear. Now that is one of their janky sideboard tech cards for this matchup. All right, they're down to 3 cards: land, sorcery, artifact. So we could run out our own Tarmogoyf. And it would be a 3/4 to block this Ragavan. We could what I think we're going to do is let them hopefully spend their whole turn equipping the Shadow Spear to the Ragavan, and then we'll terminate it in response, or before they get in for their attack. We would also then, if we do that, we would love to hit a 4th land here so that we can either double Goyf or Questing Beast. Yep, Shadow Spear. That Shadow Spear is it might do them some work. Hopefully they don't have a second Ragavan. It looks like they do. Maybe a Thoughtseize. Ooh, deals 2 damage to any target. Some more tech. It looks like they have a little bit of an artifact sub-theme. I wouldn't be surprised to see Urza Saga, but I mean, it's weird that I haven't seen it yet. Okay, perfect. That is a 4th land. We could do double Goyf, but you know I love my Questing Beasts, so we're definitely Questing Beast this up. Get in for 4, start the race. We're ahead on, even with Shadow Spear. Okay, pre-combat main phase. Don't want to miss my combat here. by clicking too fast. I've made plenty of mistakes by clicking too fast. Declare attackers. All right. Now, let's see what they have. Hopefully they don't have another removal spell. But you know what? If that's all they have, we have a second questing beast. And if they, for some reason, they're digging for that removal spell. Love it, love it. And if for some reason they don't remove it, we have 2 Tarmogoyfs to play. Unholy Heat. The literal bane of my existence. Holy cow, I hate that card so much. Anyone who's read my articles and watched my videos know how much I hate Unholy Heat. It is the most obnoxious card ever made for a mid-range deck because, well, see if they can handle 3 questing beasts. It's a 1 mana kill anything, essentially. I mean, it kills Primeval Titan when it has Delirium, and they always have Delirium. I mean, it's just the most absurd, annoying, obnoxious card I've ever played against. Like, you can't have mid-range function as a strategy when you have removal that is so cheap that a 1 mana spell kills a 5 mana dragon. That's what happens. A 1 mana spell kills a 5 mana dragon. All right, digging, that's one of their best cards. Let's see what they get. Wrenn 6 and Tarmogoyf. Well, let's see. I mean, that might be enough. That Tarmogoyf is pretty big. Wrenn 6, of course, I mean, they're not going to be able to play it. They only have the 1 green source, but all right, we know what. Okay, now they're going to get a 2nd green source. It's a 5/6. I mean, we're going to, what we're going to do is attack with our questing beast, then run out 2 Tarmogoyfs, and then the next turn, they're going to give it lifelink. That changes the math a little bit. Yeah, that Shadow Spear is really gonna, I mean, we would love a kill spell. See how lucky we get, how hot we're running right now. Terminate off the top. Terminate off the top. Or Fatal Push. And it's a land. So, unfortunately, they're going to gain 6, go up to 11. We're going to play 2 Tarmogoyfs and a Questing Beast next turn, or this turn and Questing Beast next turn. So, I mean, it's got to be done. It's unfortunate, but it's the reality that we're in right now. And we know what's in their hand is a Wrenn 6 that doesn't do a whole lot. They are going to be able to cast this and immediately make it a 2/2 if they want, but that is not a winning strategy against what we're about to do. Hopefully they don't draw Graveyard Hate. We'll save this. Well, we'll save the land for now. They're down to 1 card. They have their companion. They have the Wrenn 6. See if we can dodge a bit of removal, get a little lucky because they can cast the Wrenn 6, this, and then the Wrenn 6 and not equip. Yep. Ragavan's good. Wrenn 6 can't come off the top now. Excuse me. All right, their opponent's drawing really well. I'll give them that. They can equip the Shadow Spear, but what they don't realize is that the 3rd Questing Beast is coming for them, and this is one of my favorite cards of all time. All right, so what we can do here is instead of our Questing Beast, stomp the Ragavan, swing in for lethal, force a block. They don't gain any life. They can't gain life this turn with the stomp anyway, so we can stomp this. Right, they can't gain life. Damage can't be prevented. Okay. Stop the life gain. Make the force a block. We know they have a Wrenn 6 in hand. What a grindy match, but you know, John, I wouldn't expect any less, to be honest. So now they have to block, but then they have to hope to draw a creature to attach the Shadow Spear to, and then cobble together some sort of victory there. But what they don't realize is that we have the third land. I don't know what if they play Damnation. I don't care at this point. Let's get the Stomping Ground. I can't imagine what they could play. I mean, Damnation is their bet, would wipe our board, but then we followed up with a Questing Beast. I don't know. Maybe this is wrong, overextending a little bit. And we win the match. All right, well, that was a great game for us. Thanks for watching. This is Johnny Cycles with cyclesgaming.com. Who would have thought there'd be a Jund on Jund match here in Modern, 2024 Modern, but there it is. That Questing Druid is really good. We might need to look into it for our own deck. But again, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.